In the vast expanses of the Arctic, where the wind howls like a pack of hungry wolves and the snow hides all living things under its cold blanket, a group of American scientists stumbled upon a discovery that changed their lives forever. It was not just a plane frozen in ice, but a mystery containing secrets capable of melting even the iciest hearts. The winter of 2025 was particularly harsh. The icy winds of the Arctic Ocean spared no one, but the team of scientists from Seattle, led by Professor Sarah Miller, was determined. Their mission was simple: to study climate changes in the Arctic and collect ice samples to understand how glacier melting impacts the environment. Sarah had always been driven by a passion for science. Her 5-year-old daughter Amy stayed home with her grandmother, and every night before bed, Sarah reread her last message. "Mom, you're the bravest. I'm proud of you. Come back soon." These words warmed her even on the coldest nights. On the third day of the expedition, as the team trudged through snowdrifts, they saw a light flickering in the distance. Approaching closer, they were stunned. Before them, like a ghost from the past, loomed a plane huge and covered in ice, with a fuselage that seemed part of the icy landscape. On board, Sarah felt her heart tighten. She remembered her grandfather's stories, a pilot who once mentioned a flight that disappeared in 1983. "Flight 472, she whispered, her voice trembling. This plane had become a legend. No one knew where it vanished from the radar. All 112 passengers and crew were declared lost. The team worked tirelessly to clear the ice around the plane. Every swing of the pick echoed in their hearts. They felt they were approaching the solution to one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Finally, they breached the fuselage. The cold air inside smelled of time. The silence was deafening. Everything looked as if time had stopped there. The seats were covered with frost. Frozen newspapers with 1983 headlines lay on the tables. On one of the seats, Sarah saw a teddy bear, and her heart clenched. She imagined a child, maybe like her own Amy, clutching this toy for comfort in the final moments. Tears froze on her cheeks before they could fall. But the most shocking discovery awaited them in the cockpit. The door was locked, but upon forcing it open, they saw 2 pilots still sitting in their seats. Their bodies were frozen, but the expressions on their faces, they looked as though they had died at that very moment the disaster struck. One clutched a cross, the other a photograph of a young woman with a child. Sarah couldn't hold back her sobs. These people, like her, left their families for work, but never returned. Michael, the youngest in the team, found the logbook. The pages were fragile, but the entries were readable. The last line, written with a trembling hand: "Lost control. We will not survive. Goodbye." Sarah closed her eyes, feeling the pain of these words penetrate her soul. When the team went outside to rest, an unexpected surprise awaited them. 3 wolves stood at a distance around the plane. Their fur was covered with snow, and their eyes burned with an amber glow. They didn't attack, but just watched, as if guarding the place. One of the wolves, the largest, came closer and sat, looking directly at Sarah. In its gaze was something human: sadness, understanding, almost a plea. "They know," whispered Jane, the expedition's biologist. She told of Arctic legends where wolves are often seen as guardians of souls that cannot find peace. Sarah felt shivers run down her spine. She remembered her grandmother telling her that the souls of those who perished in disasters remained tied to the place of their death until found and laid to rest. That evening, sitting in the tent, Sarah couldn't sleep. She thought of the passengers, the pilots, about how they possibly called out for their loved ones in their final moments. She took Amy's photo and held it to her chest. "I'll come back to you, my girl," she promised, but her voice trembled. The fear that she might not return either lodged in her heart for the first time. The next day, the team continued investigating. They found the luggage compartment, discovering suitcases, letters, children's drawings. One drawing showed a plane flying over clouds with the caption, "Dad, you're my hero." Sarah couldn't hold back the tears. She imagined the child waiting for his father, but receiving only news of his death. The most incredible discovery awaited them at the back of the plane part of the plane. There, in a small compartment, they found the frozen body of a woman who appeared to be a flight attendant. She sat, clutching a small box. Michael carefully opened it. Inside was a small heart-shaped locket. On the back of the locket was an inscription, "To my daughter Anna, I am always with you." Sarah felt the ground shift beneath her feet. Her name was Sarah, and she had a similar locket, a gift from her mother who worked as a flight attendant and died when Sarah was only 5 years old. Her mother had been on that very flight 472. Sarah had never known the details, but had always felt an emptiness in her heart. Now she understood why she felt such a pull toward this expedition. It wasn't just coincidence, but a call of destiny. She fell to her knees, clutching the locket in her hands, and sobbed. The most incredible discovery awaited them at the back of the plane, in a small compartment where they found the frozen body of a woman who appeared to, "Mom, I found you," she whispered, feeling the mix of pain and relief in her soul. The team stood in silence, struck by her grief. Even the wolves outside seemed to howl in unison with her cries. Sarah insisted that the remains of all passengers and crew be returned home. She knew their families, like her, had been waiting for this moment for decades. When helicopters finally arrived to retrieve the findings, the wolves vanished as if their mission was complete. Upon returning to Seattle, Sarah organized a farewell ceremony. The families of the deceased, many of whom had lost hope, could finally say goodbye to their loved ones. Sarah held Amy's hand, telling her about the grandmother she never knew. "She was a hero, just like you, Mom," said Amy, and Sarah smiled through her tears. The plane in the ice became not only a scientific discovery, but also a symbol that even the coldest mysteries can be warmed by love and remembrance. Sarah understood that her mission was not only to study the world, but also to help people find the lost. Now, with even greater passion, knowing that somewhere in the vast expanses of the Arctic, her mother had finally found peace. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel to not miss new releases. See you soon.